Okay. I guess the last one for me was Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I restarted it recently, and then I just didn't get around to getting through it all. So yeah, I'm curious what you think of it, because honestly, from what I played, that the game slaps.
Yeah, I'm echoing that same statement. The game fucking slaps. Fire Emblem Three Houses is so fucking good. I've only done one of the houses so far. I did a complete playthrough of Blue Lions on hard, and I fucking loved it. Hard casual, because I'm not dealing with permadeath.
No.
Fuck that. Waste of time.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of purists that'd be like, oh, that's part of the experience. I'm like, I don't know. I don't find to me that doesn't add anything personally. So if you like, people can call me like a casual or like I'm pussy out or something. Yeah, it doesn't. But like, losing your unit for the whole rest of the battle, that's punishment enough. If you're playing without permadeath and your character just dies in a fight, I think losing them for the whole rest of the battle is punishment enough. Like,
oh yeah. That I think that's.
I mean, you can reset the battle, but you know.
Man, I'm not gonna restart like every fucking time a character dies. That shit sucks. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm a grown ass man. I ain't got time for that shit. So not doing it. So I beat Fire Emblem Three Houses, Blue Lions route with a female Byleth, and I ended up having her romance. What's his face?
Dimitri.
From the Blue Line. Yeah, Dimitri. There's so many characters in the game, it's hard to get all names straight. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really great. One thing I really liked about that route was that Dimitri was so central to the story. He goes through like a really cool character arc. Throughout the whole game, there's like something about him that seems kind of off. Like even early on, like particularly how one character Felix is around him, you're like,
what's he calls Dimitri a beast or a boar or something like that.
Both. I think he refers him as both. And you're like, oh, what? At first it's like, what's Felix's deal? But then it's more like, wait, maybe bro's cooking. maybe he was right. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great, and I'm definitely gonna, because the thing is, like, even one playthrough is like still pretty lengthy. Like one house, it feels like you finished a full ass game. Like doing all of the houses, that it is like completing 3 games. So they did not.
Yeah, they're not short from what I understand. So like, yeah. Like, if I'm speaking personally, I could only bring myself to maybe do one more playthrough. I could not do. I would probably do one more playthrough and then just watch the third one on YouTube. I don't know if I could beat the game 3 whole times.
Yeah, the only thing with that I think is kind of a bummer is that the first like half or so of the game is relatively the same across the 3 houses. Like there is like differences, right? Like because you do have the different characters for each house, so you do get some different cutscenes, you get different dialogue, so it's not like each time it's exactly the same. But like that first half before like the time skip is like relatively the same, which can make replaying the game a bit of a bummer. But like,
especially since the game technically has 4 routes.
Yeah, you're right. So and that's not even counting the DLC. Although thankfully the DLC is not it is like its own like bespoke content. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game overall. I liked being able to level up all the different characters and have them work together, and they did something with this game that I feel like is a real missed opportunity in the Persona series, where this idea, I don't know if it necessarily originated, but it was popularized definitely by Persona, having the social links, where Fire Emblem Three Houses lets you have social links between other characters that are not your protagonist, which makes all of the characters feel so much more rich and so much more alive, and like they have like it makes it feel like, okay, not the whole fucking world revolves around you, right? Like these characters have their own shit going on that has nothing to do with you. And I think that again, that just makes it feel so much more like lived in. Like these are real characters in an actual world, you know, and they're not just constantly sucking off your dick.
It is funny because like I always joke with my brother, like in the Persona games, we say that the protagonist is a life changer. Like literally change. Like you just have to hang out with them 10 times, and you have changed their life forever. Like you're basically everybody's therapist, and without you, they'd be stuck in whatever situation they're in. So yeah, in Persona, the world actually does revolve around you.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I mean, in Fire Emblem, like your character is still like super important, and you know, in very plot relevant ways. But at least again, they make the effort to have these really great little interactions and conversations, and you know, social link-y style conversations between these characters. And in doing so, you can actually have a hand in like how their lives end up. So like I in particular really liked the characters Felix and Bernadetta. So I had the two of them pair up like as much as I could. And then when I beat the game and it shows like what everyone did after the fact, those two ended up getting married.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was super sweet. I really, really I was like, oh man, because like their cutscenes together were just so cute and wholesome. And to see that like because I kept pushing for them, that the game actually acknowledged that and you know actually gave them an ending together was really sweet. And you can have something like that for your own main character as well, which I thought was cool. You can your character
and your romance gives you a specific CG with the character you're romancing with Byleth.
Yes. And what's interesting is that, you know, because you can play as either a male or a female.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some characters that you can only romance because of that. And it is pretty interesting because there are some characters who are bisexual, but only a couple. Most of them are straight. So if you want like a specific character, you do have to play as either male or female. But yeah, I really, like I said, I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed all the characters. Like by the end of the game, they feel like your ragtag group of goobers. And the thing that really got me, and I hear that this is less so the case if you do New Game Plus and subsequent playthroughs, but one thing that really got to me is like you spend a lot of time with other characters that are not necessarily in your house, like other students in that first half of the game. And in the second half, you could see those same characters on the battlefield, and you might have to kill them. And I remember there's one character in particular where after I killed them, after the fact, there was a character that was in my house that knew who that was. And I'm not going to say like who it was, but the character Dorothea remarked on it. She was like, that was our friend. And we killed him in cold blood. Is this who we are now? And I was like, whoa. I was like, fuck. Like, I already felt bad about doing it, but then the game just like kind of looked at me. And I was like, fuck, that felt bad. That made me feel even worse.
Yeah, because the first like half of the game, it has its dark moments, but it's like pretty light. But it like I do know that it like goes down really hard in the later parts, like especially when the houses deviate from each other.
Absolutely, yeah. The story goes in directions that I did not expect, and I thought it was really good. I really was blown away by how invested I was in the characters, in their story. And I really dug it. I also enjoy Fire Emblem gameplay in general, so it was also just a really fun game to play. So Fire Emblem Three Houses. I mean, I don't know how other fans compare it to other games in the series. I've only played through Path of Radiance, Awakening, and this, and I feel like it might be my favorite of them. I don't know. I really liked Path of Radiance, but I also feel like Path of Radiance is kind of dated nowadays. I think that one would be pretty tough to go back to, especially since it has the permadeath. So I think like Three Houses might be my favorite, and I'm interested to see the other routes as well, and seeing if my appreciation for the game will grow further, because there is like a lot of stuff that is left unanswered. And I think it is the game basically asking me like, hey, if you want to know about all this other stuff in the game that didn't get an explicit explanation, you need to play it again. So I'm like, fuck, I do want to play it again. So, yeah.
I would say Fire Emblem Three Houses is a game like I do think has a rather interesting story and lore setting, especially how it deals with basically the crest system, which is like the nobility system within the universe in there. But I would probably say like gameplay wise, it's one of the Fire Emblems that I've gotten less enthusiastic about. Like I feel like after this and Fire Emblem Valentia, Echoes of Valentia, I did feel like map design wise, like it did felt like a downgrade. Especially coming from Conquest, which has like despite Conquest having really questionable story decisions, Conquest has impeccable gameplay. Like the combat system, the map design, the skill system, how you interact with that skill system, it was top notch in Fire Emblem Conquest. And I don't feel like that same type of polish and ingenuity is felt within Three Houses gameplay wise, and I don't think it's a very replayable game to play through because of the first half. Like you said,
you have to at least admit though that the map design is way better than Awakenings.
Awakening, it's better than Awakenings, but like Awakening is the worst of the series, so you know.
Yeah, in terms of map design, Awakening was just super. It was just like a bunch of open plains and that's it. Like there was nothing to it.
Yeah, like I'm just comparing it to the previous Fire Emblems, like especially Conquest, because in Conquest you got a map where the enemies have this specific skill where if you're not careful, like when they attack you, they'll basically swap places with you. It's set in a map where you're separated by different buildings. So if you're not careful, you could just keep getting attacked by these ninjas and just get swept off into deep into enemy lines. So it's like that sort of skill management and map design is really interesting. Why in Three Houses, it's pretty standard. Like the most interesting thing they do gameplay wise is how you deal with large monsters, which I think is pretty cool.
I really liked fighting the large monsters. Yeah. It made you think about battles differently.
Yeah. But besides that, I don't really think Three Houses stand out that much.
I mean, yeah. I think I can agree that the map design's not like amazing or anything, but I thought it was still like solid. You know, like it wasn't bad.
Yeah. But overall, like I do think Three Houses is a pretty good Fire Emblem. It's just a shame, like, for being a game that has you play different routes, it's not a very replayable game. At least until, like, if you do try to replay it, you're gonna feel really burned out with how the first half is set up.
That is admittedly one of the reasons why I didn't, like, immediately want to, like, jump back in and replay it, because I was thinking that, but I still do want to do it at some point because I feel that the quality of the storytelling and the writing warrants going back and seeing the rest of it at some point.
I mean, like what gets me is not only the first half because of the same battles you're doing, but also because you're also doing the entire school stuff again, and like the school stuff can waste so much time. to the point where if you just in here and then for the battles and for the new story, it can feel like doubly draining.
Yeah, like the recycled content going through it all a second time. I could see that, like, kind of burning you out. But like, like I did Black Eagles because I really like Edelgard, so I'm curious where that's gonna go. And so like she seems super cool, so I'm like, I have to do this one. But what's interesting, and I don't know if this is just me, but I noticed that the one that doesn't get talked about nearly as much is the Golden Deer route. I feel like Black Eagles and Blue Lions are like the most like discussed routes, whereas I feel like Golden Deer is just kind of like on the sidelines. I don't know if it's maybe I haven't like noticed it or anything, but I feel like that one is just kind of like not really like mentioned much.
Well, Golden Deer is the route where you figure out the entire truth, I think, behind main big villains of the game.
Yeah, I think the reason why, at least from what I understand, that like the other routes are more favored is because they're a little more character focused.
Yeah.
And Golden Deer isn't. It's like how Peter explained it. It's more about like explaining stuff that is maybe like plot interesting, but like characters don't get quite as much.
Like there is a lot of focus in the game overall between Edelgard's and Dimitri's relationship, shall we say?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like yeah. It's like those
just
two stories are more intertwined.
Is really compelling in Blue Lions, especially like I don't know how it is in Black Eagles, but like when you learn more about like what Dimitri and Edelgard's like deal is and the nature of like their relationship, it's really compelling stuff.